What is up, you guys? It is your boy John here from Puma Plow. Welcome to another On the Farm. This is a very cold edition of On the Farm. It is currently about maybe 10 degrees out here, maybe 12, something like that. And yeah, it's cold, but it's not that bad. So yes, we did get our first, like, quote, real snow here finally. And we didn't even get an inch. Dusting at best. Definitely dusting at best. So, not too bad. Alright, I'm going to go in the shed. Hopefully it's a little warmer in the shop by now.
Alright guys, so now we are in the shop. What is up? John the voiceover guy, by the way. And just a few minutes later, you guys can see it is considerably warmer in this shop. It is very nice to have the heat in there. Crank it up, away you go. So guys, unfortunately, somebody ran over my big arch that goes over my driveway here at home. And there you can see it's broken. It's broken. And they broke the next arch over to it. So if you guys are curious, this is how one of my arches are made. It is just a 1/2-inch PVC pipe for the small arches. It is 8 feet, 2 inches long. I don't know why we went with that instead of just going with 8 feet, to be perfectly honest. I don't remember. Had these arches a few years. Like I said, it's 1/2-inch PVC with white wires, white lights with white wires. Okay. A lot of people paint their PVCs either green or black and then put wires on them. I mean lights, of course. There's wires too, you know. But a lot of people would paint them. I decided to go with the white look. I think it looks really cool. And yeah, so messed up this set of lights on this arch. The actual arch is okay. The pipe is fine. The big arch got clobbered. That took the brunt of the damage. That is 3/4 inch PVC pipe with 3/4 inch rebar. And the car that hit it bent the rebar off at the ground at about a 45-degree angle or so. So this is, of course, before Christmas, which, by the way, this video comes out Christmas morning. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. Got to spend some time with their family, because that's what it's all about. And, you know, hopefully you guys got the gifts you were wanting as well. And thank you guys for letting me into your world a little bit on Christmas Day. Do appreciate that, guys. Do appreciate that. So, yeah, we are unwinding the broken lights currently. When the car hit it, the lights just exploded. There were lights all over my driveway, all over the street. I had to sweep like a bunch of the street. So here we go. We're going to put another strand on, a brand new strand. I pretty well keep a stock of these lights. I think I have about 600 or 700 of these lights out in the garage. Just because you never know when something's going to happen, and you might as well have some extra lights so that you're ready to fix it when it goes wrong. So, to attach the lights to the piece of PVC pipe, I use some white duct tape. It actually holds up quite well over the years, because, you know, you're only putting these out for, what, 2 months or so? But, you know, you put it out a little before Christmas, stays out a little after. About 2 months. It's not too bad. And the rest of the year they sit inside, so that is not a concern. And yeah, so I'm gonna wind this arch up. I did fix the big arch. So the big arch actually broke into 2 pieces. That is one 20-foot pipe with about 2 feet glued on each end, and she broke. The person that hit it, it was a she hit the big arch and broke off about 2 feet. I did fix that. That's here at home. I didn't film any of that because I didn't. And we just glued a coupler on and glued a piece of pipe on there to fix that up so that it would be good to go. It had to put another strand of lights on it because obviously the lights exploded. They were everywhere. It was such a mess. Like I said, I do actually have a kind of a machine that we built to put these on. It's basically a 2x4 with some risers that hold the pipe, and then there's a motor that we attach to the end, and it spins the pipe real slowly. But since I only had to do one arch, I didn't feel like really hooking all that motor stuff up and whatnot. I have like 25 of these or so, I believe, something like that. 25, 23 are actually out in the display or something. I have a couple spares. And so when I actually went to wind them all, I definitely needed some kind of machine to wind them. Just something to spin the arch real slowly. This is actually the probably 3rd time this arch has been wound in its lifespan that I've had it. The first time I wound these arches, I had multicolor lights on it, but because they were incandescents and just time out in the sun, they faded really badly, and ended up replacing them with white incandescent lights. That's what these are. I have not sprung for LED for the arches because it's about 5,000 lights total on the arches, and that's going to be a lot of money to get that all changed to LED. So there you go, little arches ready to go. So the piece of rebar that got bent off at a 45-degree angle that you guys saw laying in the grass earlier in this video are on Instagram. If you guys follow me there, links in the description, by the way. Feel free to give me a follow. Dad took it to the place where he works, and the guys used a torch to straighten it back out. And when I say straighten, just imagine giant air quotes. It'll work. Most likely for next year, I'm going to remake this. It's just a piece of 3/4 inch rebar with a washer welded on about halfway. You put about half of this piece in the ground, leave half of it above ground. This piece is about 6 feet long, so you put about 3 feet in the ground, keep about 3 feet above ground. The only problem with the 3/4 inch rebar and the 3/4 inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe is that it doesn't really fit right away. You have to grind it down. And it wasn't quite straight above the washer, as you guys can see there, so that's why I was grinding it down again. To make sure the pipe would really fit on there quite well. So we do paint the part that goes above ground. Here's the piece that broke off. You guys can see these lights are just like destroyed. There were light sockets everywhere and, you know, just wires. I could have maybe fixed them, but they were pretty bad. So like the plug was laying in the street just by itself. So there's broken wires everywhere here, and you know, like I said, it's not that expensive or anything. It's not LED, so not that big of a deal. There you can see the piece that actually broke, and like I said, I did fix it up. So now guys, we are outside. It is actually a different day. It's not the day that it was like 12 degrees. It was maybe 40 degrees, maybe 35 on this particular day. And you can see this light is pretty well messed up. That shade is actually junk. Yes, we can run a light without a shade. However, it looks really bad. We don't like it. So we've never really liked this light since we put it up there. It's the orangey kind of light, and I don't care for it at all. I prefer white lights personally, but that's just me. So we have killed the breaker inside at this point. Obviously I wouldn't touch the wires if it was live. I do not like getting electrocuted. So yeah, we have killed the breaker, and we are going to replace this light with something new. So yeah, the pole that we are putting this on is very, very old. It was put there by my grandpa, I believe, a long time ago. It's been there forever. There used to be another shed here, and this light kind of lit up the parking lot area and whatnot. There's been a light on that pole, of some kind of light on that pole for many, many, many years. As long as I can remember, there's always been a light there. So it's kind of a thing at the farm. You have a light on that pole. So gonna go ahead and replace that light up on the pole. And this light's only a couple years old, but that shade, even though those little screws are tight in there to hold that shade on, the shade always wiggled. It always had slop in it. And obviously with all the wind that we get down there, that shade just sat there and basically beat itself to death over the past 2 years or so, 3 years maybe. I'm not totally sure. It really hasn't been that long, to be honest. And yes, I am in a man lift. Yeah, we could use a ladder, but man lift is so much safer. We get it from where Dad works, so it's not like it costs us any money. It is free for us to get, so it's just a lot safer to go ahead and get the lift down there and use that. So it is a 45-27. That's what it is. Your feet go to 45 feet up, and then you can go 27 feet out from the base. That's what it is. So this is the lift that I have used to do my Christmas lights in the past. I don't use it anymore. I don't like going really high in this lift anymore because it's starting to get old. It is perfectly safe, however, it is starting to get old. If it was a brand new lift, I would have no problem going all the way up in it. I've done it with this lift before in my front yard. I've been, 45 feet off the ground in my front yard, so not that big of a deal, but like I said, it is starting to get old, and I'm just not a fan of it anymore. So yeah. So here we go, guys, unhooking the hot, and then we'll do the common. This light is not grounded. We do not have the third wire running out to the light itself. Those wires have been there forever, so they did not have a ground. Back in the day, grounds weren't really common. So, yeah. Any hoozles. Try not to cut towards your hand, John. Come on. Those gloves are decent, but they're not that thick. They will not stop a knife. So you can see I have one glove on, one glove off. Just, sometimes you need not to have a glove on so that you can, get full use of your hands, I guess I'll say. I don't know. Full dexterity, something like that. Anyway, here we go. Take that wire nut off as well. Those are big red wire nuts is what they are, just covered in black tape. So there, the light has been disconnected. And we'll bend those wires that stay kind of out of the way here in a second and get that tape off there. But bend them out of the way just so they're out of my way and good to go. I just thought this was a really cool shot, by the way, coming up in the lift. I don't know why. So you can tell that light kind of hangs with a gangster lean. That's just the way there's a notch cut in that pole that I guess Grandpa cut. We were not really sure who cut that. If it was Grandpa, or it was the guy that works on sheds, because he would have done this kind of stuff too. So we're not sure. Pretty sure it was Grandpa though. But it's not like plumb to the world, so the light kind of hangs with a gangster lean, but that is okay. That is okay. So it's put into the pole with 4 leg bolts. And, holds it pretty tight. This pole is starting to get pretty old. Probably the next time we replace the light, we'll have to replace the pole. Or this pole's just going to rot off at the ground one of these days. But, that's okay. We will fix it. Whatever we have to do to fix it up. So there we go. Lights down. I dropped my leg bolt. But hey, that's okay. There's nobody standing below me. Dad was in the shed getting the new one ready. Here you go. We can see it now. It is an LED light, of course. We got it on Amazon. I don't have a link for you guys. I don't know what it's even called, but I know it's on Amazon, and I know that it is LED. And as you can see, it is bright. I think it's 7,500 lumen or 8,000 lumen, something like that. It's bright. It is very light or very bright, not light. It's actually kind of heavy. So we're going to try to reuse the same holes. We did use the same pipe. It did come with its own pipe, but the pipe it came with was steel, not aluminum. Num num num. And we're like, we'd rather use this pipe off the old light that was aluminum because it won't rust or anything in the future. So you might as well go with the aluminum. And the bracket onto the pole itself was stainless steel, so that we won't have any problems there. And drive those leg bolts in to the pole. And DeWalt 20 volt impact driver, 1/4 inch impact for the win, by the way. So we decided to add a little chain up top to kind of help hold the light upright a little bit. We ran that eye bolt through that notch there. And we just thought it might be a nice little touch to add and try to square the light up to the world just a little bit. And it actually did help quite a bit. So, and it's another mount point, so if something were to happen, it maybe would help. I don't know. We do get a lot of wind down here, like I was saying, with that old light that really tore it up. So we're like, let's put the chain on there, try to help out the wind situation just a little bit. Because like I said, it gets howling down here pretty good. If you guys live on open farmland, if you guys have been around open farmland, it gets windy. It can get very windy down there because there's nothing to stop the wind for like over a mile in each direction, basically. So some directions way more than a mile. So it is very, very windy down there sometimes. But hey, it's part of the farm. So yeah, but I'm just tightening it up to give it a little tension, help pull it up just a little bit, take some of the pressure off the other ones. And there you go. So now we're going to wire it up. The light came with fairly short wires, so we had to add these extension wires through the pole. Not a big deal. It took Dad just a couple minutes, obviously. Just cut some wires and put some wire nuts on, and away you go. Tape up your joints real good because it's going to be outside, so you might as well wrap them in electrical tape. But here we go. One wire done. And we'll get on to the next one here. You know, electricity, or I should say wiring, is really not that hard. You just have to know the basics, and obviously this is like as basic as it gets. You're gonna hook up 2 wires, and that's it. There's nothing complicated about this, that's for sure. That is for sure. So there we go. LED light is wired. The light itself does come with the ground, but like I said, we don't have anything to attach it to up here on the pole, so not too worried about it. Should be just fine. Should be just fine. Why did I leave this footage in? I guess I was talking to Dad. He was hiding in the shed there. You can just barely see him through the opening in the shed, because otherwise he was staring up into the sun. So he was trying to hide around the corner of the shed there, kind of, or you know, behind the door, so that he could hide from the sun, basically, because he couldn't see me otherwise. He couldn't see what I was talking about. But here we go, wrapping them up, guys, nice and tight with black electrical tape. Keep any water out of there. Probably should have put a little bit of dielectric grease in there, but it won't be an issue. And if it is, we'll get the lift down there and we'll fix it up. It's not a big deal at all. So we'll go wrapping the next one. And it would actually warmed up a little bit now. You guys can see I don't have any gloves on. The wind kind of died down at this point, and that helped quite a bit, actually. Now I'm going to try to shove both the wire nuts up inside the pipe to really try to keep them dry. However, the one wire nut had like the little wings on it, so it would not fit through the hole. So I believe I got one of them in there. I think I got the hot or the common, one of them in there. Left the other one hanging out, so no big deal. I was trying to shove them up there just to keep them out of the weather a little bit, but okay, got the hot up in there. The common's hanging out, so all good. So Dad's gonna climb the ladder in the shed and turn the breaker on. Our breaker box is upstairs in the shed, so he's gonna do that. And you can see it is on. It is daytime. I don't have any footage of it at night quite yet. I plan on filming it with the drone so you guys can get the full effect. It is fairly bright. It's not quite as bright farther out as the old one, but it's pretty bright. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a good day, and toodles.